Trasę jest abwechselnd vorne, fahren mit Silsa,
Welcome back to Sigulda in Latvia. We're getting ready for the second deciding heat of the women's bobsleigh race this snowy Sunday morning. Final day of sliding for women in 2024. Well, welcome back. If you're just joining us, oh boy, did you miss a first heat? Well, you may have seen the two-man yesterday with lots of crashes. It wasn't that. It was a very, very different end to the second heat to what we might have expected. The final four sleds all ending up in the top half dozen. Now, that normally happens at the end of heat two when we go in reverse order of our first heat performance. 15 sleds will go. Who knows who's going to end up where? This is a very different race from what we might have imagined. Well, still snowing gently, getting us ready for Christmas, but well, not too far into the race. We had a German top three, Lisa Buchwitz behind Kim Kalicki, behind Lara Nolte, and then something happened. As it is, Kim Kalicki is in third place at the moment, 41 hundredths away from the lead. Well, that gap hasn't changed to Lara Nolte. That was how far back she was in second place. Nolte's first heat was simply breathtaking. Kalicki, the winner here in race one last season, silver medalist in race two. But then in the final four, Keisha Love and Jasmine Jones. Now, this duo crashed in race one last season, back together again. Keisha crashed in race two last season as well. Nearly crashed for a third time in a row there, but produced phenomenal speed down at the bottom of the track. And she lies in second place, 23 hundredths off the lead. There's Jasmine Jones. And the only one not to get overhauled is our first heat leader, our winner in Altenburg, our winner here, and European champion in race two last year, Lara Nolte. She's got rookie Leonie Kluvig behind her. Another Leonie in the German pushing lineup. And first time out, Kluvig leads after the first heat with her driver. So, yeah, topsy-turvy. The final four sleds, we were sort of settled into the German top three and seeing who else might fit into the top 10. And then suddenly, maybe runner choice, maybe just a slight change in the temperature, the feel of the track. But the final four from the first heat, Keisha Love, Kati Bile, Kelly van Petegem and Victoria Chinanska all ending up in the top half dozen. So Love is second between Nolte and Kalicki. Kelly van Petegem fourth for Belgium, Kati Bile fifth. Lisa Buchwitz pushed from third down to sixth and then tied by Victoria Chinanska. Chinanska's ahead of Andrea Grecu. And in ninth place, Melanie Hassler and Mara Morell, bronze medalists here in February, ahead of Alana Myers-Taylor and Azaria Hill. Katie Humphries was sixth, now 11th, ahead of Cynthia Appia, Melissa Lottholz, Margot Bock and Georgetta Popescu. And they will go in reverse order in our second heat. So what about this Altenburg track? Well, it's one of the shorter tracks in the business. Even in the slow conditions today, they're getting down here in 55 seconds. In a women's bobsleigh, the record is 50.6. 5:21 start. That start record set in November 2020. Lara Nolte and out of the first couple of corners, try to avoid the tap on the right into turn 4. Then out of 5 and 6 down the upper labyrinth, 7, 8, and then corner 9, the first of two right-handers. Corner 10, the big right into 11. Key corner, corner 11. Easy to mess it up, make a mistake into 12, and from there on you're playing catch-up in 13 and crashing in 13 into 14. Out of 14, got to keep it off the wall into 15. Big single pressure. Try and come out clean, avoid skids and taps because you're going uphill into 16. 270 degrees, still going uphill across the line. So Kim Kalicki and Leonie Fiebig setting the track record in February of this year in the first of the 2 races. They went on to win that from Lauren Alter and Claudia Schussler, with Lisa Buchwitz and Vanessa Mark in 3rd. Might be a different looking top 3. Lauren Alter, the winner in race 2 in February, from Kim Kilicki and Annabelle Gallander, and Melanie Hasler-Marmorell taking the bronze. Well, Katie Bile had quite the surprising second heat. I mean, we know she can drive, didn't have the strongest start. 7th best start is pretty decent, but boy, there were some cats among the pigeons. Kelly van Petegem, off the 13th best start, ended up in 4th place. So the start isn't always everything if track conditions change. Now, it may also be that some of our athletes expecting snow in the forecast used maybe slightly narrower runners to give them a bit of control. And with that slight bit of control comes confidence, less steering, and maybe better speed. I don't know what everybody's running. Nobody knows what everybody's running. All the coaches predominantly just know what their own sleds are running. Most will be on fat runners, particularly fat fronts, and that was part of the problem yesterday. Francesco Friedrich in the interview after the race was saying the problem was yesterday the ice was hard, spritzed, it was very fast, very little grip at the front, particularly with the 6.5 mil fat runners, and some of them using even fatter than that. And it does mean then that you had to really steer in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to avoid the crashes. Chris Woolley on the right there with Mara Morell. I wonder if they're going to end up in the medals as they did last year. At the moment, Melanie Hasler down in, what is she, 9th position, 99 hundredths off the lead. So this could be a very interesting second heat indeed. There are a number of sleds who are definitely out of their normal positions. Well, now, that's one of the joys of sport, isn't it? That normal doesn't necessarily always rule. The queen of facial expressions from Austria, Katie Bile. So we'll go in reverse order then of our top 15. Georgeta Popescu will be first out, Margot Bock, then Melissa Lotthold, Cynthia Appiah, Kelly Humphries and Lana Myers-Taylor as we get into the top 10. Then Mel Hasler, Andrea Grecu, 9th and 8th. Tie for 6th position, Victoria Chananska and Lisa Buchwitz. There's a sentence I didn't expect to be saying at any stage this weekend. But Victoria drove just beautifully. Nice, smooth, no dramas, no skids, no slides, very few touches with the wall. Ditto Katie Bile in 5th. Ditto Kelly van Petegem in 4th. Kim Kilicki, Keisha Love and Lauren Alter will be the final 3 to go. Keisha already with World Cup medals in her career, so let's see how we go in the second heat. Great view of the elevated start tower. The start area is 5 stories up in the elevator, and by the way, above that, the luge start. Because luge don't run, they just sit and paddle, so they need even more assistance to get them going. Ready for Heat 2. Race 2 of the IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. We're in Sigulda in Latvia, final race before Christmas. And first off, Georgeta Popescu, World Cup number 5 for the Romanian slider, and a debutante behind her, Medea Muselet. 19 years old, raced in the World Championships in Winterberg and has done a couple of Europe Cup races last season. So her first outing this year, and it's in the World Cup. Georgeta, Youth Olympic champion in St. Moritz 2020. Finished in 18th in yesterday's monobob race, 16th in the women's bob in Altenburg. And her rookie brakewoman, just 19 years old. So let's see how the duo fare in this second heat. Might give us some idea of what to expect from the track. First start 5.70. 14th best start, came down 15th place, 5.74. Quietly from 1 to 2, and then out of 3 into 4. Just the tiniest of nudges, avoided a big slap. Out of corner 6, and then little sinuous labyrinth 7, 8, 9, and then big corner 10 into 11. Tap into 12. Hard to avoid that even for the very best. Nice run so far. No big skids. Oh, little meander off 14. Comes nicely out of 15. First heat was a 57.32. And across the line, 55.95. Now, is that a reflection that the track is getting faster since the beginning of the competition? She was the 3rd out at 10 AM. And now, nearly 90 minutes later, maybe the track is warming and speeding up. But it was a tidy run for Gauja. 55.95. And that, in fact, is the 7th fastest trip down today. So that would have left her ahead of her teammate Andrea Grecu in the first heat, if she'd been able to find that speed. Well, nice exit out of 14. She tried to straighten the sled, keep it straight, but there's just a little bit of rear runner pressure, just drifting her off the corner into that skid and tap. Not a bad looking run though. So she heads into the leader's box as we get to French pair Margot Bock and Nemi Desai. So Nemi, also a newcomer. They were first off this morning, 56.71, so expecting them to find plenty of time as well. The 22-year-old brakewoman has had 1 North America's Cup race, silver medal with Margot in Lake Placid in March. That's her experience of races to date. Margot's only race here, previously a 5th place finish. There's going to be some very weird stuff going if she comes from 14th to 5th in this race. 5.49, a whisker quicker than their first heat. She drove nice and neatly yesterday in the Monobob race to finish in 9th place. She has got great feel for the sled on the ice, better speed than we saw from Georgeta Popescu of Romania. That's to be expected. She had a faster start and nice lines as well. Excellent from 14. I think this second heat is going to be a lot quicker than the first. Nice looking run again from Margot Bock. Ducks ahead, 55.11, 56.71 in the first heat. And her first run was not a 1.6 seconds slower shambles by any stretch of the imagination. Well, she reacted well to the different track. And that's always difficult. You don't get practice runs on race day. So the first time out, you feel what the ice is doing. 90 minutes later, in this case, you go again, and the ice is totally different. So you have to react to that. And that little skid into corner 1 definitely didn't help. Out of 14 here. Just allow the sled to run out to the right-hand side as the driver sees it, and then leaning it very gently back to the left where she needed to be for 15. Margot Bock on the left, and Nemi Desai on the right-hand side. Not sure that her dad is a famous footballer. Anyway, moving on, Melissa Lottholtz with Leah Walkenden behind her. Melissa in her 12th Women's Bobsleigh World Cup race, as is Leah. 10th in the Monobob yesterday, finished 7th in Altenburg on her return to World Cup racing. 6th best start in the first heat, 5.40. In and down nice and quietly, 5.38. So maybe there's just a little bit less frost in the start area as well. Everything helping the runners move a little more freely. They tap into 4. 7/10 up. Our first heat advantage was 27 hundredths. Speed not quite as high as the French sled. A little late out of 11. Nice out of 14, well controlled. Second best speed, starting to creep away again. Still 6/10 in front, second best speed. Not going to really open up that advantage by too much more. No, 54.98. So 54.98, fastest run of the day. That would have been enough to be the leader in the first heat by 5 hundredths. So yes, it is a different racetrack for sure. And it's adjusting to that. Every turn will feel different. You'll get there faster than you did last time. Maybe at a different speed, even from the practice days. She reacted well. Little tap from 15 into 16. Sent her onto the wrong side into 16. She should be staying on the left as we see it, but a long skid down into the gully.
Thank you.
Leah Walkenden on the left and Melissa Lotholtz on the right are race leaders. Next up, their teammates. Massive margin ahead, 1/100th of a second. Race director Manny Schulter on the right-hand side there, watching the action from the start. Just keeping a check on everything. Cynthia up here with Skylar Sieben behind her. Skylar, new to the Canadian team in the World Cup, made her debut last week in Altenburg. Back at it again. Lyndon Rush at the top in the white hat. 5.50 getaway. Started 5.49 in the first heat. But best velocity. Third best start. So outstarted by Melissa Lotholtz, Leah Walkenden, also by Margot Bock and Naomi Desai. 1300s back, best speed of all. A whisker faster than Margot Bock and quicker than the current leader Melissa Lotholtz. Big loop. Hits into 14, gets away with that, but a skid and a tap there. Third best speed. The gap was right down to nearly nothing. It's going to grow now. Lotholtz was quicker. Melissa Lotholtz should hold the lead here. And it is second place. So she overturns her teammate by 12 hundredths, from 100 behind to 11 hundredths in front. Melissa Lotholtz, Leah Walkenden, the leaders. After 4 over Cynthia Appiah and Skylar Sieben. Not the tidy second heat that Cynthia wanted, I think. I think we can take that as read. Again, looping height here out of 11, or out of 12 rather, into 13. 13 into 14. And then that's how she came onto 14, the big bump. Sure Skylar felt that in the back seat. And then out of 15, just rattling away a little bit more speed. All right.
See you in Minnesota in the new year.
Yeah, everybody heading home for Christmas and looking forward to that, I should think. It's only the second World Cup of the season, but they have been away from home a long while, pre-season training. Next up for the USA, Kaylee Humphries and Emily Renner. Well, Kaylee's been away from home, but home has been with her, at least family has. At least immediate family. Husband Travis and baby son Alden are here in Sigulda. Have been on tour all season and will be in the second half as well. 5.51 first heat. 5.49, finding a little bit more in the second. So a 10th ahead of Melissa Lotholtz. Most of her first heat advantage taken away by Melissa's faster start. But Kaylee knows how to get the best out of this track. Raced here once, was in the medals in both the monobob and in the women's bobsleigh 2 years ago. Nice exit out of 11, takes the square tap into 12. Smooth out of 13 into 14. This is how you build the speed. 104 kilometers an hour, a kilometre an hour quicker than anybody else. Little drift out of 15, same as in the first heat, gets back onto 16 nicely. Best speed to the line. Kaylee Humphries the leader by 8/10. Now we can go home. Yes, now you can go home. In the background there, Travis and Baby Alden. Now, what was Kaylee saying there? I didn't quite get that. Not overjoyed. Well, she leads with 10 to go. She would wish to be higher up the order. Both she and Alana using brand new MUSA sleds built by Mark Vandenberg in Lake Placid. And we're out for the first time in Altenburg. And both Kaylee and Alana responded very positively to the new equipment. And after years driving Bodines, then BMWs, then BTCs. All right, Kaylee saying the track changed so much in the first heat that only the second heat should count. Unfortunately, the jury might have needed to have made that decision beforehand. So Kaylee Humphries leads with 10 to go. Not delighted with the way the race is running so far. Unfortunately, after a cold overnight and then slight snow this morning, the track is undoubtedly going to change. And so not everybody is going to be on the right side of that. That, unfortunately, is the nature of outdoor sports in winter. Weather has its effect. Now the track, as you can see, is covered for its whole length, so there's not big piles of snow in the straightaways as you would see in Altenburg, for instance, as we did see in Altenburg when it snowed in the on Friday for Skeleton. So it is covered, but the ice, which is of course the key element, the running surface, does change in nature with the change in the weather. So a very Christmassy look with snow in the trees. And so far, no major dramas for our sliders. 5 down, 10 to go. And although there were a couple of slightly heart-in-mouth moments in the first heat, nothing too dramatic. So what will the second heat bring as well? Those final 4 sleds in heat 1 who ended up in the top half dozen, will they react positively? Will they be able to hold their nerve in the second heat when they're going out 3rd or 4th last, as opposed to when there's a full changing room still, when the potential, maybe even for a World Cup medal for the first time, is being dangled in front of them? How much then do you overdrive, overtry, push too hard or try too hard at the start? It's all about experience and maturity. It's going to be very interesting to see how this one plays out. Snowy Sigulda in Latvia. Race 2 of the IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. Second heat, 10 to go. Kaylee Humphries, our race leader, so we'll have an American leading after this. Alana Wise-Taylor with Azaria Hill behind her. Just 0.03 of a second in front after the first heat. Alana with Lake Quaza, a winner here in the 21-22 season. 5:40 the getaway, and they started 5:52 in the first heat, so that's a much improved getaway. Wonder what didn't quite happen right in the first push. Well, from 1200s up, she's going behind Kaylee Humphries. Not as tidy a drive as Kaylee, but still be close. If she's quick out of 15, she's only 900s back. If she's clean 15 to 16, that might be enough. Gives her a little bit more speed. Hits the hammer going into 16. There's a bump in the track at the line. 1400s back. 44.55. So a second and a half quicker than her first heat. Well, she slips a spot. Will be no worse than 11th, but not where she would prefer to be. Well, yeah, there's a big bump there sticking out of the wall just as you get into 16 if you're right up by the right-hand wall. Everybody hits it, gets bounced up in the air. Right, as Aria's last race was with Alana last year. Kelly Humphries and Emily Renner still lead as we get to Switzerland's Melanie Hassler and Mara Morell. Well, after their run, they were in 4th place. They were the bronze medalists here in race 2 in February. European Championship bronze medalists behind winner Lauren Alter and Kim Kilicki in the silver medal position. 5th fastest start, but they ended up only 9th at the end of the first run. And I don't think that was of her doing any more than Alana and Kaylee are so far back because of major errors they made. 5:37 starts the same as the first heat. If Melanie can produce a neat and tidy run here, there is a definite opportunity to move up. Don't know how the track is going to evolve, whether it will get faster or slower. 2500s up, best speed from the Swiss sled. Now, unlike Monobob, in the women's race, there is no mandatory sled. Use whatever you have or can buy. The Swiss have their own sled program that's working well. 2200s up to 1700s up, only 3rd speed, going to be close. 1600s at the line. Peter Ramseidel in the coach's box. 1600s in front. That is not going to guarantee a medal, is it? But Melly Hassler and Mara Morell are the leaders with 8 to go. Little wry shake of the head there. Maybe a couple more mistakes creeping into her run than she would have liked. Not a bad looking load. Clean out of 14. Brings the sled back under the camera towards the driver's left where they need to be. Using the body and the steering to just move the sled around like a motorcycle racer. Eighth after the first heat, Andreea Grecu of Romania and Teodora Vlad now. Grecu has been a medalist here. Silver medal in the European Championships behind winners Nadezhda Sergeva and Elena Mamedova back in 2019-2020. She's been a medalist as well in the Monobob. This track she does respond well to. She does look like she's discovered her mojo again after a slightly off-form time last season. 5:41. Beg your pardon, 8th best start. She's the 3rd fastest starter in the women's Monobob. Best velocity from the 4th best start. That's a very good starting technique from Andreea Grecu and Teodora Vlad. Best speed so far, easing away from Melly Hassler. Still top speed. The Romanians, I'm not sure if that's a customer BTC or an older FES sled. They do often have older German sleds. 3rd best speed, 200s up, skids it away. 4th best speed, Melanie Hassler will lead after this, I think. She can't hold it at the line, she doesn't. 54.53. But it is a very close race at the moment. And Melly Hasler coming from 500s back to lead by 5, going a 10th quicker down the run than Andrea. Well, not a bad looking run. Exit of 14 though is where it all starts to come undone. I don't think it's the cowbell having an effect, although butterfly wings, I mean, really, who knows? And then 15 to 16 as well was a little untidy. And unfortunately, if you're giving away speed here with skids and taps, there's no room to get it back, and it's all uphill as well, so that magnifies, compounds the mistake. So into the top half dozen, we have 7 sleds left. How so, Martin, you idiot? Because we had a tie for 6th. Victoria Chernanska and Lucia Makrosova, their 12th World Cup start. Together, they have raced in every World Cup race. For Slovakia, best result, 9th place in here in February 23 and in Altenburg. Let's see if they can somehow pull off a remarkable result. 5:62. Well, that is 1200s faster than their first start, so that is a massive improvement as well. And Victoria drove really nicely in the first heat. The only problem is she has started 2500 slower than Melanie Hasler, so she's got to undo that deficit. Now she's got the best speed. The track is speeding up. It's going to be Grease Lightning this afternoon for the men. 700s back into the green. Now, if she's ahead of the line, it will be no worse than 7th. It will absolutely be a World Cup best. Little skid onto 16. Second best speed, 100th in it. Where is she at the line? 800s back. Second place with 6 to go. That is her best ever World Cup result, and she's disappointed. She's disappointed because of that skid, because it cost her the lead. And that's sport, that is competition. Her best ever result, and she's disappointed because she knows it could have been better still. Out of 15, tiniest of taps, sends her over to the left. She needs to be more to the right. And so she just tries to bring it back, gets that little skid, counter steers into 16. Couple of hundreds in it, from 100th up to 5 back. Still a personal best, their best result in women's bobsleigh for Slovakia. 6 to go. Lisa Buchwitz with Kira Lipperheider behind her. Another change of brakewoman. In fact, all 3 German sleds with a change in the back seat. The world champion Lisa Buchwitz, bronze and 4th last year here. 1 in the monobob yesterday. Started the women's bobsleigh with silver in Altenburg. Let's see what she can produce. 15th World Cup start as a driver. 5:22 getaway. So the fastest start, and 3700s ahead of Melanie Hasler, out now to 0.6 of a second. And this is about trying to wrestle her way back into the medals. 4th best speed, only 200s more added to a lead over Melanie Hasler. That's not a drama, but what's it going to mean at the end of the run and at the end of the next 5 sleds? Best speed of all at the bottom. Starting to open out that margin again. Oh, long drift from 15 into 16. Hard on the take-on of 16. She will lead. But is that enough for a medal? 53.84. .22, they're being told by Matthias Herpner, the coach at the bottom. 100th off the start record. set by Lauren Alter last year. Well, a few little errors, the hard slap in 12, but it's this one that is so costly. You are going uphill, that's not an optical illusion from the camera. Uphill, skidding into 16. Kira on the right, Lisa on the left, 5 to go. Not a common position for Lisa Buchwitz to be in the leader's box, and still 5 sleds remaining. First of those, Kathi Beil of Austria. And behind her, another of our new break women, Nicola Pichler. It's only her second World Cup. Her first was here in February this year, towards the end of last year. One Europe Cup race as well. Now then, let's see what they can produce. 5:42 start in the first heat, 7th fastest. 5:43. So 2100s slower than Lisa Buchwitz and Kira Lipperheider, and that almost totally eliminates their first heat advantage. And of course, because the German sled had better velocity, that margin grows, and now Kathi Beil is driving herself back into the lead. Better speed than Lisa Buchwitz. This is a great opportunity for the Austrian to get in amongst the medals. 4th best speed though. The FES sleds are very fast, but she's clean out of 15. Should be best speed, only 4th best speed. 200s back, she's not going to lead at the line. 300s back. Drat. The German FES sleds really produce the speed. Well, second with 4 to go. It is a top 6 finish, so they're on the wider podium. Kathi Beil and Nicola Pichler. 6th and 7th in last year's race is Kathi. So she's right in that same area. And at the moment in 2nd place, just 300s back from Lisa Buchwitz. Gonna have to get Wolfie. Gonna get Wolfie to breathe on that sled a bit more, get some good top speed. All right, 4 to go. At the front of the sled, sweariest coach in the coach's box, Anne van Nieuwenhuis, but justifiably excited as Kelly van Petegem and debutant Gente de Cler took a 4th fastest run in the first heat. This is Ruby, Anne van Nieuwenhuis's old sled. Kelly's history with this track includes being a World Cup brakewoman on her only appearance as a brakewoman in the World Cup for Anne. 1100s out of the medals. I'm just going to say it now. Whatever happens now, it was an astonishing first run from Kelly. She drove beautifully. If she can do the same again, who knows what might happen. Sits down just 200s behind Lisa Buchwitz of Buchwitz's electrifying start. That gap grows out to 1100s. But we saw that Kathi Beil turned that around. Can Kelly do the same? She's bringing it down. Only the 3rd best speed from the BTC sled. Not quite as quick as Beil. And don't forget, the top 2 are only 300s apart. Excellent out of 14. Best speed of all. Big hit out of 15. Still good speed. Is she going to get her at the line? How close is she going to be? 800s back, she's 3rd. Top 6 finish. The last top 6 finish for Belgium was Anne van Nieuwenhuis. January 2017 in Altenburg, she was in 4th. Last podium for the Belgian Bullets. a silver medal for Alfa Willemsen in Koningszee in December 2015. Well, an uncomfortable load there for Gente de Clare, the brakewoman. She must have just been busting every muscle to try and give her driver as much of a start as she could. But they are in the top six. First top six result for Kelly van Petegem. Her previous best was a 7th place. And now her first driving weekend and a first race weekend in the World Cup for Gente, her brakewoman. They're in the top six. They're third with 3 to go. Kim Kilicki, winner on this track, race 1 last year, silver medal race 2 last year with Leni Fiebig and then with Annabelle Gallander. And for a 3rd race in a row here, a different brakewoman. Männer-Skeleton joining her rather than Lara Nolte. Coaches moving athletes around, trying to get the best for each of their drivers. 5:31. So she has 2700s over Lisa Buchwitz, but for Kim, it's about trying to grab the silver rather than a bronze where she ended the first heat. She'll need to be ahead of Buchwitz to get anything. Best speed. Her sled's making odd noises. I noticed this in the first heat. Very un-FES rattle. 6,300 up, best speed of all. Nearly 2 kilometers an hour quicker than anybody else. Great run from Kim Kilicki. She will have medals here. Lisa Buchwitz and Kira Lipperheider are out of the leaders box. 53.26. 2.18 seconds quicker than her first run. And she was 9th out of the start. 9th of the sleds on track. What a different track. Nearly 2.25 seconds quicker. It's a massive margin. And we're still 1.7, 1.6 seconds away from track record territory. So Kim Kilicki on your left, Männer-Skeleton on the right. 2 to go. Is it medals for Keisha Love and Jasmine Jones? Well, boy, this would be a redemption race, wouldn't it? Crashes in both races last year for Keisha. One of them, Jazz, was in the back. And a chance to take a medal here in Sigulda. That's the way to right a wrong. Started 5:36 in the first heat, 4th quickest. 5:32, again, knowing that everything will be needed here to beat the Germans. 2nd best velocity from the 3rd best start, so good loading, good velocity and acceleration from the US sled. And already starting to build the lead back over Kim Kilicki. 2100s up, 2nd best speed in 11 late, gets away with it. Needs to steer 13, does, onto 14 nicely. Oh, but big meander there. Speed's going away, lead's going away. Now it's 9/10 back to Lisa Buchwitz. It should still be a medal. It is still a medal. Kim Kilicki and Männer-Skeleton lead. It's not a silver for Keisha Love and Jasmine Jones, but it is a medal on the track where she crashed in both races last year. Big high five there from Alana. Alana down there sled dogging. Does the woman have no limits to what she does? Helping out her team, helping out Coach Tuffy Latour. Well, she didn't have the speed on board. And then this little moment out of 11, heart in the mouth moment. I'm sure Jasmine Jones felt every fraction of a second of that one. Again, little late, 13 to 14. And those were the errors really that took the speed out of the sled that she needed to have the lead. It's out of 14, this big long skid, the double taps. Acacia Love, Jasmine Jones, redemption. They're in second with 1 to go. So Lauren Alter with a brand new brakewoman, Leonie Kluvig, 26-year-old making her debut, just 1 race in the Junior Worlds in January 2023 with Lena Boma. She was a Junior World Championship silver medalist. Is she going to be a World Cup gold medalist with the European champion, with the Olympic champion, Lauren Alter? 5:27, 400s faster than their first start. And Lauren Alter already building that advantage over Kim Kilicki. Kilicki was 4100s back in the first heat. The gap's now out to 5/10 and growing. Not growing, 4900s, third best speed. Can't afford any mistakes here. Kilicki had an astonishingly good second heat. Alter not so tidy. Gap's down to 3900. She's living on her first heat advantage, only the 5th best speed. Clean from 15 to 16 should be enough. It's not going to be a huge margin, but it should be gold. It is gold. Well, she was 4100s up. Kim Kilicki outdrove her by 3/10 in that second heat. But Lauren Alter and Leonie Kluvig win together. So congratulations to our gold medalists, the Olympic and world champion, Lauren Alter. World Cup champion, beg your pardon, not world champion of Monobob. Well, Lauren Alter's got a patchy record with this track as well. Crashed in her first ever race here. And then she's had gold, gold, silver, gold, gold. Bounce back ability, I should say. Winner in Altenburg, winner now in round 2 of the World Cup. Lauren Alter, and on the right-hand side, Leonie Kluvig. Gold medal on her World Cup debut. Kim Kilicki, Nela Skujan taking the silver, and Acacia Love and Jasmine Jones. That's the way to turn the frown of last year upside down. They take bronze ahead of Lisa Bukwitz, Kira Lipperheider, Katty Bile, Nicola Pichler, Kelly Van Pettingham, finishing in the top 6 with her rookie brakeman, Gienti de Clare. And for Victoria Chinanska, 9th place finish, equaling her World Cup best ever, ahead of Kaylee Humphries, Alana Myers-Taylor, Melissa Lottholt, Cynthia Appia, Margot Bock, and Georgetta Popescu. Well, what an entertaining women's race, and if the 2-man competition is anything like that, it's going to be well worth watching. That comes up this afternoon, 1400 local, 1300 Central European, 12 GMT. But our winners with an early pair of Christmas presents, Lauren Alter and Leonie Kluvig. Alter taking her second women's bobsleigh gold medal of the season after winning in Altenburg last week, with Deborah Levy behind her. Nela Skujan took the silver then as well, but behind Lisa Bukwitz. Today it's silver behind behind Kim Kilicki. And there on the right-hand side of your picture, Acacia Love and Jasmine Jones. So that is your top 3. And that means that Lauren Alter, it will not surprise you to learn, is our World Cup points leader. Kim Kilicki in 2nd place, and Lisa Bukwitz in 3rd. Melanie Hassler, ahead of Koshalov and Kaylee Humphreys. That's the top half dozen. So all 3 US sleds, or 3 of our 4 US sleds in the top 10. No race today for Adele Nicol, injured when the runners ran over her right foot last week in the second push. Sylvia Hoffman didn't race either, nor did Sarah Blizzard, Linda Wyszewski, and Deborah Annan, not well, didn't get to race in Altenburg either. So that's it for women's bobsleigh before Christmas New Year. They rejoin in the first weekend of January 2025 in Winterberg. Men up next. 1400 local, 1300 CET, midday Greenwich Mean Time, 0700 Eastern. We'll see you then. Do not miss it. Bye for now.
Ladies, congratulations on this race. Can you describe your runs?
Thank you. Yeah, very satisfied, especially with this first run. The conditions were hard today, but I'm very happy that we made it down safely in the second run and that we had such good push times. So Leo did a great job and I'm very happy.
There were a lot of crashes yesterday in the men's bobsleigh runs. Today, none. Can you explain this?
Yeah, it was very hard to watch the men's race yesterday. We felt so sorry for them. And yeah, today the track crew decided to make the track slower, so they didn't make it as shiny as it was yesterday for the men, so that we all get down safely. And I think that was a good decision, even though it was yeah, a bit of luck what start number you had today. But yeah, overall everyone made it down safely, so that's important.
Now we have a Christmas break coming up. What are your plans?
Recovering and doing athletic training for the second half of the season, because when we're on season, athletic training always comes a bit short, so yeah, that's a plan.
Any wishes for Christmas?
All be safe, don't get sick, and enjoy your time with your loved ones.
Yeah, I agree with her. I said the same.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.